Made it to Houston. We are getting ready to go see my friend. I'm so excited.
Okay, I'm coming to get her.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you look so beautiful. I love these haircuts.
Some connections are written in the stars long before we meet them in the flesh. Simone and I first crossed paths nearly a decade ago through Facebook. Two women walking the same spiritual path from a distance, yet somehow always aligned. And just recently, in the heart of Houston, we met in person for the very first time. Her presence is everything I imagine, grounding, radiant, and deeply sacred. Simone is the voice behind Soul Harmonics. She's a sound healer, a medicine woman, and a weaver of remembrance through sacred sound, plant medicine, and ritual. From bath teas and infused oils to clays, scent, and ceremony, every creation she offers carry a frequency, not just a product, but a soul harmonic, encoded with intention, softness, and light. Her work is an invitation to slow down, to realign with your rhythm, to come home to your soul. If this is your first time meeting Simone, allow yourself to truly feel her. Here she is.
So this day, something was different about this day. The night before, I had a dream. I had a dream that a ship of pirates came, and not pirates, skeleton pirates came, and they were slaughtering everybody around me.
Wow.
And I was so scared that I took my son and we went into the bathtub and I closed the curtain and I was just holding it like this. And then all of a sudden in the dream I realized I'm God. I don't have anything to fear. So I got up and all of a sudden I went like this and created a sword of light. And I started to getting all of the evil pirates, they started to go. And then I woke up with this newfound, like no longer scared. And so something was like, do ayahuasca this morning. It wasn't planned. I set one intention only. I just want to believe. That was the only thing. I just want to believe. At the wall, and I have like this tapestry on it. And it has chakras and stuff. And I began to see the colors. I began to change the colors with my eyes, start to make them richer in my mind. And even after the ayahuasca was over, that thing was rich. The colors were vibrant. And so I sat there for a second and leaned back, and all of a sudden ayahuasca said, look up. See those, that up there? Those are souls. Find yours. All of a sudden I said, I just my heart dropped. I said, oh God, that's me. I was there. That was me. I felt it. As soon as I said that, I shot up out of my body. I was completely gone from the earth experience. I was like slowly remembering who I was. I was just like, all that stuff I've been through, it wasn't real. I had a full and then near-death experience. I was never going back. But I realized that wasn't my game. My game was for me to accept myself.
The night before, we had come together for our Hapé ceremony, a sacred plant medicine ritual. I had done it before, and honestly, it was intense in all the wrong ways. I'm talking like vomiting, snot, just pure chaos. But this time the energy was different. Maybe it was the circle I was in, maybe it was the intention we carried in together, but instead of resistance, there was peace. I laid down after the ceremony, breathing deeply, and I saw visions, sacred dances, tribal movements. It was beautiful. Later, Simone told me that wasn't a coincidence. That was the very blend of Hapé we used that was prepared in that ceremony. Through those exact dances, I was receiving the spirit of the medicine in its fullest expression. This morning, I woke groggy, but clear, centered, excited for what was next. Our 100% cacao ceremony. Simone handed me a piece, raw, untouched, just as nature intended. And yes, it tasted like chocolate, but in its purest, most ancient form. She prepared it with intention, infused with loving frequency, and now we begin to enjoy it. So I'm excited. What is this we're getting ready to do?
We're about to have a cacao ceremony.
Okay.
So this right here, cacao is a sacred plant medicine. And in its pure form, it is psychoactive. It will open up your heart space when taken ceremonially as a ceremonial dose, which is at least 30 grams. It is unlike regular chocolate. The chocolate here has been stripped of all of the healing properties and processed with sugars and everything to the point they probably have 1% of cacao in like chocolate bars. But this is pure. This cacao was made from a Native American tribe. And what they do is they process it in a ceremonial way through dance and song. And so what that does, it raises the frequency of the plant. It's a feminine plant. And so when you connect with her, you're connecting to the spirit of the plant medicine. And it also helps with benefits like magnesium, iron. It has, did I mention the bliss molecule? No, a lot of us experience that when eating chocolate, even though it has a small part. People like women on their cycles, they crave chocolate. It makes people feel better. Well, this is the full thing. This is going to shift your whole experience. And so when you work with her, you want to work with her intentions. You want to treat her and respect her as the living being, the spirit that she is. So before drinking her, we want to thank her and set intentions with our experience with her today. So I can start.
Okay. This, it's like, for people watching, I mean, of course you taste the chocolate, but you can sense more.
It definitely gives you a lot of depth. This is one of those hidden gems that people don't really talk about. And, you know, it's the same thing with tobacco, right? Tobacco has been processed and poisons added to it, but tobacco is actually a sacred plant medicine as well.
Really?
Yeah, it's called mupacho.
Wow.
Yes, and I knew someone that once smoked the tobacco pure from the plant, and she said immediately the spirit energy began to speak to her.
Wow.
And the spirit energy was crying, and she was just like, they turned me into poison. You know, so she doesn't like that they did that. They turn it down. Now people, when they smoke like cigarettes and stuff, that it gives them disease, lung cancer, you know, all these diseases. But that's a part of what they did in this reality. They take what's sacred and then they try to corrupt it.
Same thing they're doing with the green plant. They're trying to get
we call it Santa Maria. It is also a sacred plant medicine when done intentionally. But they have changed it. You see, when I first started working with Santa Maria, the green plant, you know, they actually have a name for that now. They call it gardening. And they'll be like, I garden all the time. And then speaking of mapacho, it's a good chance to segue into Hapé. Hapé is a shamanic snuff, also a sacred plant medicine. It is created when they with tobacco, but they have different strains, or they turn it into ash, and they blend in different plants and different herbs, infusing the sacred plant spirits in the medicine. And one thing I want to share about the Hapé is, I first took it a few years ago. I had a friend, me and her were working on opening a retreat together, and she had some Hapé. I hadn't done it before, heard of it, and she was like, try this. And she didn't explain anything to me, and she just was like, you know, there's a device and you deliver it, you know, straight into the nostrils. And, you know, me, after taking ayahuasca and plant medicine, I'm open to work with plant spirits. And so I was like, okay, let me take it. So she puffed it in, and immediately I was relaxed. It felt good. I was like, oh crap, this is good. And I ran upstairs to my husband. I was like, you gotta try this. This is so good. And so I go and I say, give me another dose, right? And then she gave me another dose. And we were supposed to spend the night. And I was like, I gotta go home. It was the worst feeling. I don't know how it had turned. I was like, what did you do? Why did it happen? Well, she used a different strain the second time. She used a strain made from a masculine tribe. And in the masculine tribe, the masculine energy is very strong. Yeah. So it hit me very strong and started purging me. Oh my God. And I'm like, why would you do that? Yeah. And that's when I realized some people aren't well versed. Like they'll go do plant medicines and they don't realize that it's a very sacred experience. And you have to know what you're dealing with. There's Hapés that ground you and relax you. Then there's Hapés that put you in your upper chakras and really purge you. And you know, it's all cosmic and stuff. I purged all night. It was horrible. It was horrible. But let me tell you, the next day, I was clear. It felt good. I was like, for weeks. And then systematically, the Hapé, like that moment is one thing. Weeks later, it started working with me. It healed my mother traumas. Wow. Yeah, it dealt directly with that. All of a sudden, me and my daughter were working through some issues. And then I found out that she had been looking for my birth mother because I was an orphan. And I stayed with her till about the age of 10. Yeah. And it was like, Mom, I found out she passed away. Aww. Like everything just came into a culmination. Yeah. And that Hapé, it helped me work through all of that. So it stays with you for weeks. All right, so this one we took last night. These two things are the Karape and the Tipe. And these are the applicators to applicate it. So this is a self-applicator and this is an applicator when giving it to another person. So again, you want to do it's a sacred medicine. It is a spirit. It is alive. So you want to respect it, honor it, thank the plant, thank the shamans and the tribe that processed this plant because all their energy and intentions went into you having a positive experience. And so you just take it. And most people, I feel like some people do it too harshly. She told me you had an experience where somebody just blew it up your nose.
And I was coughing and I was hacking.
It went down your throat and went down everything.
Horrible.
Yeah. So I'm very gentle with it because of my bad experience. Number one, I don't use a dime worth. A dime is just way too much. Maybe if you're seasoned and you do it all the time like them. Yeah. But no, I use very less, right? And then you want to blow it real gently. Yeah. You want to blow it. Yeah. And also, different. Yeah. Also, you want to, while you're doing it, this is people don't think this is a spiritual experience. You're not just trying to give them a high or anything. You want to think intentionally, like, I want the person receiving this to have a good, gentle experience, you know?
So how did you get into all of this?
How did I get into all of this? Oh, so I started off with my spiritual YouTube channel. I was going through, at that time, I was shifting into my life. I had been through a lot of toxic relationships and I was broken, you know, and I just didn't understand why the world was the way it was. Like, I was not meant to be here like this. I didn't understand why men, refused to be good men, refused to be loyal, refused to stay with the woman they got pregnant. I didn't understand why this whole baby mama era started. And I was just like, I had met someone who totally destroyed me. And one day I had moved and I was walking down, I was taking a walk and a monk moved into my neighborhood. Wow. And he walked up the street and I saw him, for the first time I saw an aura. I never had seen an aura before. And he just had this bright, this love, this peace. And he was doing a walking meditation. And he looked at me and smiled and introduced himself to me. And he's like, I'm new to the neighborhood. And he taught me on the spot how to meditate. Wow. And after the craziness with what I had been through, you see, I was in a cult growing up. The foster home I was in put me in a cult that it was a lot of trauma in that, but I thought I was doing things for the Lord. But eventually they put me out, and because I got a roommate, we weren't supposed to commune with people outside of the church. And so they kicked me out of the church, and I ended up on Fruitvale in Oakland, and new to the world, not knowing about drugs, these hood men and all this stuff. And I met this guy who ended up being a drug addict, but I didn't know what to look for. He traumatized the hell out of me. And my mind was no longer stable. And when this monk taught me how to meditate, he gave me this book by Thich Nhat Hanh called Peace in Every Step. And he said, because I was asking him, how do you get through hard times? And he said, here's this. And then later he came to my house and he brought the book to my door. He said, this is what helped me.
There are some moments where words fall short. This was one of them. Simone held a sound bath for me, and from the moment the first vibration moved through the space, I knew I wasn't just hearing sound. I was receiving healing. She played with layers of frequency, crystal bowls, tuning forks, chimes, and each tone reached into places that didn't have words. It wasn't just beautiful. It was transformative. I could feel the frequencies pulling things loose, energy I didn't even realize I was still holding. There were moments where I dropped out of thought completely. Just breathe, just sound, just being. And when the final note faded into silence, I knew something had shifted inside me. But the work didn't stop there. After the sound bath, Simone began creating something special, a personalized, sacred herbal bath blend just for me, crafted intuitively and energetically, based on everything she felt during the session and what my spirit was calling in the next. Every herb, every root, every drop of oil was intentional, not just symbolic, but functional, protection, cleansing, recalibration, rebirth. She'll now walk you through the ingredients she chose and the reasons behind them. Because in her world, every plant has a purpose and every blend is a ritual.
Are you asleep? I know it's that relaxing. How did it feel? So for you, Jennifer, I am making you my sacred bath blend. We're going to start off with Dead Sea Salt. The healing properties is rich in magnesium, calcium, potassium, and soothes sore muscles, detoxifies skin, and reduces inflammation. Spiritual aids, emotional release, purification, and deep energetic cleansing opens pathways to inner stillness. Then we'll add I'm going to add a little Epsom salt to add some extra magnesium. The next one is roses. So roses, it soothes the skin, reduces redness, and softens the skin texture. Spiritual properties, it opens heart chakra, amplifies love, the divine feminine, and ancestral connection. Excellent for grief release and emotional alchemy. The next I chose for you is rosemary. Rosemary is antimicrobial, improves circulation and mental clarity. And I chose it for you because of the spiritual reasons. It's a psychic protector because you're very psychic. It clears negative energy and boosts memory. It's a sacred herb for remembrance and ancestral work. Then eucalyptus, spiritual properties. It clears emotional blocks. Renews vitality, breaks stagnant thought patterns, and excellent for releasing psychic debris. Then we're going to move into peppermint. It can relieve headaches, inflammation, supports digestion. For spiritual purposes, it's energizing. It clears mind fog. That's particularly the reason why I chose that for you. And also, it breaks spells, binding energies, and it invites fresh insights and mental sharpness. So I really felt that would help you. And so the next thing is lavender. Lavender has antiseptic, it soothes skin and supports nerves and supports sleep. Spiritual reasons why I chose this to you is it calms the third eye and the heart. invites peace, protection, and dream recall, and it's a powerful aura cleanser. Okay, oats is good for soothes itchy skin, dry, inflamed, and it's nourishing and calming. For spiritual properties, it grounds the spirit, it brings comfort and security, stabilizes emotional waves, and anchors the inner child. The grapefruit essential oil, and I chose grapefruit for radiance, body image healing, and fresh perspective.
My time with Simone was medicine. From the moment we sat in ceremony together, I could feel it. This wasn't just a visit, it was a divine appointment. Simone holds space like few can, with reverence, with intuition, with a frequency that reaches beyond the physical. Every ritual, every conversation, every silence between us carried purpose. We laughed, we reflected, we crafted, and created sacred space in every moment. She didn't just guide me through healing, she reminded me of my own. The Hapé ceremony, the sound bath, the personalized herbal blend, each one was a reflection of her deep-rooted wisdom and her heart-led practice. And in being held by her, I remembered how to hold myself with more grace, more truth, more clarity. This time together felt like something ancient, a reunion more than a first meeting. Two paths that had crossed long before this life, finally aligning again in the flesh. I leave this experience forever changed, not because of the things that we did, but because of how she does them. Simone is a portal, and I'm so grateful I got to walk through it with her.